Now on BBC One, we join the BBC's news teams where you are. Bye-bye.
Hello and welcome to Wales Today. The headlines. 3 more local authority areas are in lockdown this evening. It means 2/3 of the Welsh population are now living under tighter restrictions.
We do have to collect 2 of the grandchildren from school once a week in Bridgend, so we're counting that as an essential trip.
It means that we will either have to meet up outside. It's very sad to think that this lockdown has come.
Face-to-face teaching is suspended at Aberystwyth University after a number of students test positive for COVID-19. It all comes as the Economy Minister pledges £140 million to help businesses cope and recover after the pandemic. Also tonight, Brian has a health condition and spent months shielding earlier this year. He says he's staying home once again to keep himself safe. Damaged by Storm Ciara, the Conwy Valley railway line reopens after a multi-million-pound rebuild.
And in tonight's sport, what future for football without the fans? As Newport County prepare for a cup tie in an empty stadium, a warning tonight that without financial help, only Premier League clubs may survive.
Good evening, noswaith dda chi. In the past half an hour, 3 more areas of Wales have gone back into lockdown. It means that almost 2 million people have now had more restrictions placed on their everyday lives. Half of Wales' local authorities have seen tougher rules imposed. Neath Talbot, Torfaen and the Vale of Glamorgan being the latest. Carmarthenshire in the west is still on a watch list. That's despite the tougher rules seen in Llanelli already. And most counties in North Wales are also being closely monitored. Well, let's get the very latest now from our reporter, Nicola Smith. Well, as you may have noticed already, Wales Today looks a little different tonight. This morning we said goodbye to the old broadcasting house in Llandaf in the north of Cardiff after more than 50 years and moved swiftly into Central Square studios right here in the heart of the capital. And Nick Savini is in another part of our new building to tell us more.
Jen, thanks very much indeed. Well, it's a new era, isn't it, for Wales Today and indeed for BBC Wales in this very striking, high-tech city centre location. But the backdrop is equally striking as well, isn't it? This is a major investment of licence fee payers' money at a very difficult time. But we believe the technology in this building will allow us to tell stories in a better way. And of course, for the foreseeable future, that means telling the story of COVID. But you know, when work started on this project some years ago now, no one could have foreseen we'd be in the middle of a global pandemic now.
Long standby, Rebecca. 1 minute to air. 1 minute to air.
A day like no other for Wales Today. Appropriately, it began with one of our most experienced presenters, Rebecca John, reading the final bulletin at our old HQ in Llandaff. After more than 50 years, the last news to come from the famous old building.
From all of us here at BBC Wales, thank you for watching and listening. Goodbye, hwyl fawr.
So to Central Square in the middle of Cardiff. Work started here in 2015 at a cost of £100 million. It's created one of the most advanced broadcast centres in Europe. And the moment, years in the making, finally got underway when the first Wales Today broadcast was aired at lunchtime. Have a good afternoon. So this is the view you'll be used to. Let me give you a view now of the studio that you're probably very unlikely to see again. And the most striking feature of this is that these cameras are not operated by any humans at all. They're fully automated and they move around in front of these 3 huge high-definition screens that make up the walls. Now, the bit that you do see, of course, is the newsroom where it's all put together. And the studio just sits behind the main newsroom. But the BBC is like just about every other employer out there at the moment. Social distancing rules and the fact that so many people are working from home means that this place is nothing like as busy as you would have expected it to be. It may all prove an impressive backdrop, but what do the viewers get out of it all?
Well, I think the first thing you'll see is a major difference in terms of the quality of the programming we're putting out. You know, people are watching in HD tonight, and that is a big shift. High definition, long after we should have had it, but at last our programmes are going out in high definition. On radio and television and online, the technical foundations here will last us 20 to 30 years. So this isn't just an investment for now, this is an investment for generations to come. And it says how important Wales is to the whole BBC.
And is this value for money for licence fee payers across Wales, do you think?
It's terrific value for money. This is half the size of Llandaff. We've thought about every detail of this building in terms of how we make it as efficient as possible.
The other big impact of the pandemic has been outside. Sitting halfway between Cardiff Central train station and the Principality Stadium the other side, it's hard to think of a more high-profile location anywhere in Wales. The idea was to be right at the heart of a thriving, bustling city centre. Well, COVID's put paid to that, for the time being at least. An exciting time then for Wales today, but a new beginning, certainly at an extraordinary time.
Nick Savini showing you around our new home here in Central Square. Well, Thomas is here now with the sport, and Thomas, some dire warnings about football without fans.
Yes, without financial help, the future of the game is at stake. That's the warning tonight from Newport County's chairman. With fans unlikely to return for at least 6 months, Gavin Foxall says only Premier League clubs may survive, and the game desperately needs a rescue package. It comes as prominent figures in the game are warning football's National League structure is now at risk of collapse. Let's get a full check on the weather forecast for Wales. Derek is with us tonight.
Thanks very much, Thomas. Well, after yesterday's glorious September sunshine, it was all change today. Tomorrow will be nicer, but make the most of it. There is more unsettled weather on the horizon. Now, today started off with a beautiful sunrise. This picture taken by Ken in Halkin in Flintshire, but a different story in Amroth in Pembrokeshire. Grey, damp and misty there this afternoon. Now, the grey, damp and murky weather will clear away through this evening, so it's an improving picture overnight. 1 or 2 showers rolling into parts of Gwynedd and Conwy. Otherwise, it will end up dry and clearer. That's it. Back to Jen.
Derek, diolch. And that is Wales Today. I hope you can join us for the headlines at 10:30. But for now, from all of us on the programme, thanks for your company and do have a good evening. Bye-bye.